The DA's Member of Parliament, Glynnis Breytenbach, has filed criminal charges against Human Settlements Minister Thembi Simelane. This is following allegations linking her to a scheme to defraud Eskom. According to a News 24 report, Similani received over 700,000 rand from her former employer, Vitrevian, a company contracted to manage protest over jobs at the Kusile power station. The report claims that the company overcharged Eskom for its services. Similani has denied any involvement in corruption. For more on this, we are now joined by Advocate Glynnis Breytenbach to understand the reason behind laying this criminal charge. A very good morning to you, Glynnis. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning. Why did the DA feel that it's so important to have this matter being investigated by the police?
Good morning. Well, it's important because Minister Similani is, of course, a minister in the cabinet. She was previously the Minister of Justice, and the President sat on the VBS scandal when that broke with regards to her for 4 months before he did anything, and then merely moved her to a portfolio with a much bigger budget. So when this news broke on the 31st of March, having looked at the documents that were published, and these allegations surrounding the minister just seem to be piling up. Again, she says, I had nothing to do with the financials. It's the same excuse as with the VBS issue, and the excuses are wearing thin. But the fact of the matter is that a minister in cabinet who has so many dodgy deals surrounding her should really step aside. And failing that, the president should really remove her. Until all of these matters have been cleared up. She's, of course, innocent until proven guilty. But these matters need to be cleared up. To leave Minister Similane in cabinet just suggests to South Africans that it's okay to have these dodgy deals surrounding you, and you can still hold, very high office. So hopefully the president this time won't sit on it for 4 months. Yeah. And so the criminal charges are, A, because the DA has a zero tolerance approach to corruption. The government has stated its intention to eradicate corruption, although, it's hard to see whether they're serious, because they slashed the budgets of the players in the criminal justice system. But the matter needs to be investigated. We need to be able to put some pressure on the police, the National Prosecuting Authority, in order to get the matter dealt with expeditiously, and it must run its course. So, to highlight the importance of not having involvement in corruption, of not being involved in dodgy deals, especially when you're a cabinet minister. It's very important.
Yeah. So according to what the DA has now seen with the News 24 article, I'm not too sure whether you have any other information outside what News 24 has published. Which particular aspect in the conduct of the minister is the DA asking the police to investigate?
Well, it's not for us to ask them to investigate any particular aspect. The police must do their job, and they know better than I what that is. So we've laid charges of corruption. It relates to the single invoice that we've seen bearing the minister's signature and the 700,000 rand, which is a significant amount of money and carries if the investigation finds that there is sufficient evidence to prosecute, and prosecuted upon 700,000 rand carries a significant sentence. So the police will investigate what they must investigate. They may find more, they may find only what they have. And a signature on an invoice is quite a significant piece of evidence.
Yeah, but is the signature, or is the invoice, that initial invoice that she confirms indeed that she signed off on, does that indicate any criminality, do you think?
Well, it certainly indicates the allegations carried in the newspaper article that Vitrevian, A, paid off people who didn't exist, and B, that the services charged for were grossly overinflated. So those aspects need a lot of further attention.
Yeah, because even the article, it says that most of the inflated cost and billing for ghost workers occurred in years after the minister had left, but her involvement in the initial stages of the contract is not without controversy. So with the newspaper's own article, they're saying that the minister wasn't there when the so-called ghost workers were being paid.
That's a matter for the police to investigate, and they're best placed to do so.
Yeah. Has the Democratic Alliance raised this before in the Government of National Unity?
No, I don't believe that we have. It broke on the 31st of March, so it's very recent.
Yeah.
Gathering sufficient information, drafting the documents. This is how we're raising it. I don't see any other way to raise it. It's not a matter for, shouldn't be a matter for discussion in the Government of National Unity. It's a matter for the police to investigate and the National Prosecuting Authority to decide upon. They're both independent instances.
Yeah, but like you say, that because of these allegations, you would want to see a step aside. Yes, she remains innocent until proven guilty. And we know that she serves at the behest of the president, a president who is the leader of the Government of National Unity, which the Democratic Alliance is part of. Do you think maybe there should be a mechanism that is made available within the GNU once there are allegations of this nature against the member of the executive to deal with it within the Government of National Unity so that the president is seen to act on these allegations of corruption?
Certainly, now that the criminal charges have been laid, I have no doubt that the Democratic Alliance members of Cabinet will raise it, but it shouldn't be necessary for anybody to raise it in Cabinet. The President should be aware of it, and he should deal with it expeditiously. He shouldn't have to push him. He should of his own accord do the right thing.
Yeah. Does it, though, taint the image of the Government of National Unity and, like you were saying but earlier on, the so-called commitment to fight corruption?
Well, it's certainly it's a matter of concern that the Treasury, the Minister of Finance, sees fit to slash the budgets year on year of those institutions that are meant to fight crime, and then say that we're serious about fighting crime. It begs the question of whether they in fact are or not.
Yeah. And just finally, Glynnis, in relation to the VBS matter, which is a concern that the Democratic Alliance has raised before, do you know whether there's any other update with regards to the investigations into that matter?
I've requested an update about 10 days ago. I haven't received any reply.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. Glynnis Breytenbach is a member of Parliament from the Democratic Alliance.